the meeting of the Newbury Cultural Council at 6:16. We're going to do a roll call. Robin Lawson, Chair.
Michaela Early.
Mary Carville.
Ryan Kelly.
Heidi Fram.
Ellen Daly.
And Bart Bracken.
And we're going to be going through the 24 grant applications and making decisions about which entity we will award and how much. All right?
So we need to approve last meeting's minutes.
No, because I have not seen them yet.
Okay, fair enough.
Hi, Barb.
And Barb.
Ready?
Perfect time.
And we just did the roll call.
Here.
Barb will be here. So we'll just do that. We'll do that next time.
Okay.
Starting from the top.
Can I explain what I have up here?
Yes.
So, what we're gonna do is this is the table of contents that you all saw at the beginning of the package. And it's been converted into a spreadsheet. And so this was what the project budget is, and that is what they said their program was going to cost. Then they request a certain amount, and then what our decision is. When I put the decision in, it's going to take away from the $5,600 here.
Awesome.
So if we say that we're gonna give $100 here, you can see it just takes it away. So that way, we can just kind of monitor it. And then I'm also gonna do my best, and I'll ask all of your help as well, as to what is the reasoning we made that decision, because Robin has to put that into the letters. And just so everybody knows the process, you do the denials first. And the reason for that is that they can appeal them. And if they appeal them and somehow we have to, in that appeal, there's a decision that they do get some money, then may have to be other adjustments because we only have a certain amount of money allotted. And then once that's all done, there's a certain time period, then the approvals are, or the awards are given. So I will simply be the scribe here, and I may stop you every once in a while and say, okay, what was our reasoning for that? And I can also, these numbers can just change. So as we said, well, let's just give them what they asked for, and we find out at the end that we've given away too much money, then we can always make adjustments.
So we may go through 2 or 3 times to get to the 600.
We went through it once last year. I mean, last year we got this done very quickly.
It was remarkable.
And I suspect, based on what I've seen so far, that this one will be pretty easy as well.
Do we want to start just with the first culling as far as ones that are definite no's, and that might help kind
I
of?
was just about to suggest that.
And my question was simply, as we cull, would we agree on how and why we're culling?
Of
Or
course.
does it not matter?
Oh, yeah, no, we have to have the reason why we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's like, they don't have a date, or like, this is not the right.
It's not cool.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll go through.
And can
we'll
I
also
just
see
clarify
reasons.
that, so we only have 5,600, and the request is 16,200?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you missed
Yep.
that part, which says that we will spend only 5,600, right? And if we'll whittle away, if somebody asks for 1,000.
So we have to, there's some cutting that needs to be.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there's also partial funding, which you may
Yeah,
not have heard.
there's partial.
Somebody might ask for $500 and we can give you $175. I mean, we can do whatever we want.
So I know we've talked about in the past that we would, obviously we want to focus on Newbury requests and Newbury activity, so that's kind of a no-brainer, but there's a question in every single one about whether it's for children. And there's a number of them that are not. So in my opinion, I thought, I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention to the requests that do involve kids. There was almost nobody that was solely for children, but there were many of them that were not for children at all. Is that a question in there because that's an important way to distribute the money, or does it not matter?
That's just something that MCC includes on the grant applications. It's just good to know, but we aren't.
But they don't believe that, philosophically, we're not
No.
trying to, okay.
No.
Okay. I had a third one, let me just see. What is a mass card to culture?
A what?
A mass card to culture?
I have no idea.
There's a mass card to culture that people can buy apparently, that gives them discounts to some of these activities? Okay.
We never heard of that.
Was that like a library?
And do we also care if someone has gotten permission for whatever they're trying to do yet?
Yes,
Yes, we do.
Okay.
absolutely.
That's what I figured. Okay, thank you. Ready to go.
All right. Well, do you want to start the calling process, Ryan?
Sure. So we can start with the first one, which is the Greek Food Festival.
Well, actually, I was thinking that we would just go through it, and I have marked mine up.
Sure, you wanna share
That
which
can
ones
come
you
right
think?
out,
absolutely,
yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
yeah,
Yeah, if you
okay.
have them marked up.
And I also had done some, well, let's look at
Well, I
number
also
6.
marked up things, so can we just go
You
through
can have
them?
every single one.
One at a time. Ryan can read the names, and if anybody has an immediate like,
We can also do a quick culling
Yeah.
of like yay or nay, and then we can
Yeah.
circle back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd suggest that we start with number 6. Mural on Plum Island.
Mhm.
That, where she
Nay.
wants to, first of all, where she wants to paint is not in Newbury, it's in Newbury.
Report, yeah.
Right, secondly, it involves public property, so that is not, we could give her $300, but that doesn't mean it would ever get done. So to me, that's immediately.
That was my question about, she doesn't seem to have permission yet to do that, so I don't
No.
think we wanna put
No,
money
it's-
against
it's-
it
it's
until she
really
came
for-
back and said, I got it.
No,
Plus she wants to
that's
paint
out.
over graffiti
That's
and
out.
wants to stop people
Out,
from
okay?
painting
The
graffiti.
next
on
one,
the road.
and I have to say, on number
Just
seven,
shake it out,
number 7,
Done.
number 7, I got kicked off the out of the app before I had, I just missed that one, and when I went back to look at it, I had gotten kicked out of the app, as I was explaining earlier, so I don't even know what that one is, but my best guess is that it's not a
It's
bit.
training for elderly people to use their smartphones and their tablets. It's actually a
And
nice
there's
program, but
also
it's
on
expensive. They're charging $250 a session that they would do against, and that's what the money is for. That's my understanding, Michaela. Did
Yeah.
that read that way to you?
That
So
is
it-
exactly
it's-
what they propose, but it's a service. We're essentially paying for a service.
Right, and so that was gonna be my next point. I don't think it's really culturally
It doesn't- it's not a
relevant.
good fit.
It's a
Okay,
nice
good. So we're
service.
gonna say X
No,
to
I
7.
crossed it out.
And if you look at how many of the cultural councils they did, they literally went in alphabetical order and did about half the state.
Yeah,
Mm.
all right, so
I
then,
noticed.
That's like 3 lines.
Yes.
number 8, I am, as I recall, Bart, we did not fund that last year.
We did not, and the reason is, that there's no local sponsorships. All he's doing is taking a proposal, just sending it throughout the entire state and hoping for somebody just to throw him some money. And, it was not inexpensive. He did say he was gonna do it at the town library, but there's no, letter of support or anything. So there's no local support.
Okay, so, everybody agree?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have number 15, which is the outdoor sculpture at Monsley. And we received a notification from Bert, that the sculpture exhibit is not going to happen in 2025. So they withdrew their application. So
Okay,
that's,
so it's not relevant.
it's just, they withdrew their application.
Number 15, that
Number
one.
15, withdrew their application, okay? All right, then I have number 24, which is the Theft of Dignity, Newbury. And I did nothing for this month, it's a presentation about bullying. I didn't think it was a good fit. It's also another one that fits what you were talking about before.
No local
No
sponsorship.
local sponsorship.
All right.
Okay, so that's, if everybody agrees,
Well,
we'll
it's
X
not
that one.
cultural either, is it?
I
I mean,
know.
these sorts
No.
of things, just to be fair to say to them,
They're
not.
great, they're
They're
great library
programs,
hosting.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, now, to keep us organized, I would like to suggest, we don't have to do this, but I'd like to suggest that we go through the ones that are specific to Newbury.
To Newbury,
That
yeah.
are, right, and then we can go back.
Mhm.
All right, so
Yeah.
that, if we skip down to number 9,
Yeah.
this is Georgetown Theater Workshop. Takes place in Byfield, they're asking for $500, we have funded that before.
It's at the Byfield Community Arts Center.
Pardon?
They perform at the Byfield Community Arts Center.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we funded them last year at 300. They requested 500 last year, and we funded them at 300, just to give you a sense.
All right.
But I can put in, if people agree, I can put in 500, and again, we
For
can
now,
come back.
yeah.
You
For
can
now.
adjust it.
Yeah.
later.
Okay. Then we have the library passes to the Strawberry Bank Museum in Mass Audubon, which is requested by the library. And that, the library always asks us for funding, and we always
It's
provide.
up there, sorry, it's 8.
It's number 8, yeah.
Number 10.
I will tell you.
Oh,
it is-
this number's changed.
Oh, well, it's, oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
yes,
sorry,
number 10.
sorry, 10.
I don't know if anybody uses those passes, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of museums with them.
Why would they not get passes for things in Massachusetts though, instead of in New
It's,
Hampshire?
they get passes to what people like, what people want. The library, they look at the programs and they find out what are the most popular and they choose depending on what's the most
Okay.
popular.
They get input
Because
from
we have our
their-
own historical stuff that costs you money to go see too, but.
That's what they ask for.
I'm sorry, can we go back? And so there, I did have another one that did not have any local support.
Okay, which one?
Number 5, Community Magic Show.
Ah, yes. I wanted to talk to you about that, as a matter of fact.
Mm.
So do you, well, we're on the subject. All right, so here's what happened. We talked about whether or not there might be a grant application that would fit our summer initiative.
Mhm.
Did we not? Yes, we did.
Yes.
So, normally, just a level set for everybody, that type of application, we would dismiss out of hand, because there is no local connection, and how are you gonna publicize your event? Oh, the cultural council will do it. We're like, no. So, but in this case, because we had talked about possibly having something like this, which serves children, right, at Newbury Town Day, I contacted Pete, and I said, very, very vaguely, you know, we're in discussions, and it's not possible summer event, tentative, right? Would you be available on a Saturday in August? And he came back and he said yes. So,
But he is not a local person, are we not trying to?
he's in
promote-
Gloucester, he's in Gloucester, he's not that far.
I know.
But couldn't we ask him to just participate in Newbury Town Day separately and use the money from the other budget and not put him into this category?
We could,
I agree.
Yeah,
we could.
That seems a little
Oh, yeah,
cleaner.
that's,
yeah, that's, I think so too.
so pay him then.
It's great that we
Pay
found
them
this
that,
connection,
and do
but
that.
we shouldn't use this money for that. I
Right.
think there's better fits for
Okay.
this money, but
Yeah.
I
Alright.
think it's a good.
Sounds good, so we'll put it.
That'll be
in-
good on the inside room of the field house.
Yes, it would,
Mm.
which I.
Or the event
Which I
stage,
drove
yes.
by again the other day and saw how small it was. It looked bigger the first time I saw
It is
it.
small, but you can fit, I mean, it's like, it's almost a third the size of this room, half.
Yeah.
It's pretty big in there, actually. You can-
But his website also showed outdoor.
Oh, yeah, I think the
Event,
event
so,
stage
yeah.
actually would be great, all the kids
Yeah.
have those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Still talking about the food.
You like to have those things
Yes, you missed
outside
that
so
one,
people
yeah.
say, oh,
We're
look at that.
definitely
Good. And number
Those are-
10.
Okay, so we'll not deny his grant,
Right,
but we'll keep in touch and say, it's,
yeah, try and have them hold the date even if they were kind of thing, yeah.
But do we have to set that money aside now, though?
No.
No.
Only because we're talking about not taking it out of this money. There's a different pot of money.
it's a different pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's town money. This is state money. That would be town
I
money.
wish I'd known about that different part of
Because when, before you got here, we were
Yeah,
talking
I
about
know.
numbers
Ready for
of,
any pot of money.
the town, the celebration fund, that
So number
we
10,
think, we're pretty
right,
sure,
it'll probably put in
what you
notes
missed was
like
that, Ryan has to make a presentation to the select board and say,
Yeah.
by the way, we're gonna be
So
getting
that'll
out
be
this
approved.
fund for such expenses. Okay, so the next on my list that's, a direct Newbury connection is for number 17. Which I think that, is a much larger conversation, but we can do it now if you'd like.
Hmm.
So,
then we have
I was
8.
confused, sorry, oh, 17,
You wanna
16.
17.
No,
Sculpture.
17, but
I have
I'm
some
going
thoughts
through my
about
list,
17.
I'm going, for all intents and purposes, I'm going through my list that, where I'm calling out things that are in Newbury, just to help us with focus. So number 17, which is the You Are Here sculpture, they're trying to get 350 towns all
Right.
across America, okay.
Right,
So I marked it as Newbury because it would be here.
it would be.
Okay, so let's revisit that one. So then I have Liquid Spine Great Marsh, number 18, that's in Newbury.
Mhm.
Flying Aces is in, number 19 is in Newbury.
Yeah.
As is 21,
Yeah.
and 23, of course, is scholarship money.
Yeah.
So those are all that are just right, here, and then the other ones are Newburyport or thereabouts. So I thought that would help us to move things along.
Okay, so then let's just take them one by one.
Let's do it.
All right.
So You Are Here it didn't feel to me like she has permission or go-ahead or commitment or anything from anybody yet.
And also,
Well,
the LCC would have to pay for installation and a bunch of other stuff if you read through the thing. It's
Yeah.
like, the
Yeah.
money is for one thing, but then we have to do $3,000 worth of work.
Right, right.
And it took me 3 years to get one piece installed in Haverhill of Evans, and it's literally they just last week poured the base, and
I
it's been
think
3
it's a
years.
very cool idea, but I don't think she has it ready for us to commit money
She-
to.
It's a great
She needed to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a dramatic reading of an email that she sent us. This email is regarding my grant application for the You Are Here sculptures. I have been fielding a lot of inquiries that are similar, so I thought should send an email to all of the LCCs explaining the two main questions that everyone seems to have. First, most cultural councils, including my own here in Wilbraham, require that you secure a venue so that the grant does not get wasted due to an artist not having a place to perform, display, etc. I agree that this is a very good idea. The reason the sculpture project doesn't have an exact location nailed down for each of the 351 towns is strictly because of the large scope of the project. It will take months to meet with each of you and receive your input regarding where you think the sculpture will be best located in your own town. It is my responsibility to gather this information from you and get the permission and location secured.
If we had a town hall, we could position it there.
Indeed. It just isn't feasible to do it for blah, 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 blah.
Now you're talking crazy.
Secondly, there have been, I'm skipping over the rest of the,
Yeah.
that's beginning part, first question. Secondly, there have been a lot of questions regarding the art on the back of the pin. Again, as the person requesting the grant, it will be my job to organize what goes on the back and get it completed. Do you know what she's talking about?
There's a
Yeah.
blank
Design
white
of
box on the back.
sculpture, yeah.
Yeah.
Many of the LCCs thought they were responsible for doing the legwork of finding an artist and creating the work. That is my job. I only ask one thing of the LCCs other than granting the funding, and that is to give me your input. This is crucial to the project. When you fund this project, I will ask to schedule a meeting with all or some of your cultural council to gather information about what you would like to see on the back, and if you have local artists that you would like to recommend. I will reach out to them and see if they are suitable. After consulting with your LCC, I will work with the artists to come up with a draft to show you as a courtesy. It won't be going up for a vote. Finally, I want to make sure that everyone understands, I'm skipping over a lot here, but details. Finally, I want to make sure that everyone understands that if their council can't fund the entire project in 1 year, it can be split into 2025 and 2026 grants. Please take a moment to blah, 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 blah. Thank you for considering the sculpture project. The response so far has been overwhelmingly positive.
Sounds like the lady doesn't have a life. I mean, this
She's
is
gonna have a
like,
lot of freaking work.
It's
like
a lot of
huge,
work, and
huge
who's she gonna
project.
interact with?
Yeah.
And she's driving all around literally Massachusetts, so I'm not sure
Exactly.
exactly how.
I,
This is one person, huh?
mm,
I think it's a great idea, I don't know if it's the best use of our money right now, especially given the fact that our town,
Doesn't
it's
have,
not like it's Amesbury with downtown or Newburyport downtown, it's, we don't have a ton of money, and I think the money would be more culturally spent on the people in it versus hoping people will drive from, not them, but other places
Like, they
to
should
get
also
there.
have more of the proposal outlined
Flushed out,
already.
yeah.
Artists and designs and all
Yeah.
that,
It seems
And
very
then,
beginning
like,
stages,
suggestion.
yeah.
yeah,
well, it also sounded like we have to do a lot of work.
exactly.
yeah.
It's just not clear.
So I just took a few notes, does
Maybe-
this cover it? I said, no local support, requires additional support outside grant, we are too small to take this project on, needs more local connection.
I would also say we don't have an obvious place. We don't have a central place in town for the display.
Right outside the Rusty Can. That would probably be
It could be a
profitable.
rusty
You
can,
know,
in
when they
fact.
turn-
More people come from there for the Rusty Can than anything else.
when turn
They should
on
go
Richard's
do this.
plate, We
Well-
could put it,
Oh, Jesus, I know, it's coming
Coming
to
through.
Okay.
Just do a mammoth sculpture of a rusty can.
Okay, so the next one you said was the Liquid Spine Great Marsh, which is local because they would do the thing locally. Did anybody look at any of the,
I liked it.
Yeah.
they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great idea.
Me too.
It's a lot of money, it's a lot of money in the scheme of things, but I love the idea.
Well, we'll go back and, we don't have to fund the whole
Right.
$1,000, right?
Mm.
Mm.
So I see a lot of head shake. Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody likes it?
Yes,
Do you
yes.
want me to put like 500 down? Or just put the 1,000?
I would put down 500, start there, and then we'll go back and fiddle with it.
I agree.
Okay.
And the next one is Flying Aces,
Mm.
which is actually Historic New England.
I liked it.
I liked it
It was
too.
local, it
Yeah.
was reasonably priced,
And Historic New England has been a great partner to us.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's different.
And it's kids.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer myself.
Yeah. That way too.
And then we have Love Letters, and this is the Council on Aging. I like to request every year to have Delbina make a presentation, and what was it this year?
Lizzie Borden,
Lizzie
remember they
Borden
changed
changed
it?
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, so we fund this every year.
Yeah, we do, and last year we gave them $750. So this is, so this is actually less this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I'm
Before we
fine
get
with their
too-
requests.
Before we get too far ahead past this one, which I agree that we should probably just fund this one,
Mhm.
I would like to say that we do fund all of Tempo, the 1,000 that they asked for.
All the food?
Tempo?
TMP.
Oh,
That's the scholarship?
I have a question about
Okay.
Tembo though.
Uh,
Um,
Oh, so are we gonna jump to that? I'm sorry.
no.
We don't have to, I agree, if we wanted to finish love letters, I think it makes sense and it's
Yeah.
less than we
Yeah,
got
no, we're
last
done
year.
with that. We can,
We can fund.
yeah,
Okay, so 695, so then you wanted to go to Tempo?
yeah. Which is the next one anyhow.
No,
No.
no,
If
Justice
we
for All is.
Oh, no, we're going through the ones
Oh,
that
I'm
are,
sorry.
that are Newbury specific, and then we'll go back, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm
last year
trying
we
to keep us
decided not
organized.
to do Tempo.
What?
Last year we didn't do Tempo.
But it wasn't, the request was different.
Was it different?
I believe so.
Oh, scholarships.
How
Oh,
is
was
it
it
different?
scholarships? Oh.
What does the scholarship money go to? I didn't
It
really.
goes to individuals, which is why I have an issue with it for this kind of
Yeah.
money.
For
Because it's not
camps
for
and lessons.
large groups of people or for bringing the community together. It's scholarship money, it's a service to me.
Yeah.
In the
I
same way the
agree.
other things are, much
Does
as I
it-
love the idea.
Is
I
it
also had a
scholarship to
question.
attend school, or what is the money used for? Because I don't.
No, scholarships for camps, it's for, my understanding was it's for camps and learnings associated with arts and
Okay,
things.
so extra.
It's
curricular
extra,
stuff.
yeah,
Got
but it only just goes to one person, that's my only challenge with it.
It goes to about 25 people, yeah.
Yeah, my problem with it was that they do, Tempo is a great organization for these kids. They do a lot of fundraising activities. It said in their application that they're short on money because of lack of participation in their fundraising activities.
Right.
And,
What does that say?
yeah, well, you know, so they want to rely on the cultural council to give them scholarship money, which, you know, as you said, I just have a,
Good point.
and I know how strong.
Though 25
Oh,
is a
that's all
decent
right.
number
Totally get it.
of, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not 5,
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
but
I would
it's still
entertain-
not.
we could, I would like to do
300.
some amount,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
if that
too,
could be
Ryan.
fair.
Yeah.
Even if it's half the amount that they asked for or something, we can see how it shakes out money-wise. But as someone who was born through the Tempo program and is multicultured in different art forms because of it, it does matter, and
Yeah.
it does have a direct link to
So
the
Ryan,
future of the
you are a Tempo recipient?
I went through the entire music program from Newbury Elementary School to Triton Middle School to Triton High School, and I did as many extracurricular after-school things. Tempo money went towards the buses for our winter percussion competitions. It went towards different lessons and things. My brother went to the UMass Honor Band. He was the third best trumpet player in the state at one point because of Tempo money. So it's a
The people
It's
that
a
run the
big deal.
community arts center are there because of
So
Tempo.
it's investing in the community.
Yeah.
I kind of use that as the argument
Yeah.
that there's literally alum that
Dave
are
and
now.
Ramo or,
I'm here because of
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and it kind of, it's the seeds of that, and I can understand it's a lot of money, and I can understand we don't have a ton of money to give. But I would like to see some go to it if possible, because I do
Yeah.
believe very strongly that it is directly impacting the culture of
I
our
think it's
town.
important to support the arts education when there's
I
a
was
lot.
just disturbed by the lack of participation.
It's sad
Yeah.
to hear, I just went to go
Yeah.
see, my girlfriend and I went to go see The Lightning Thief, the musical, we thought it was pretty good.
So do we want to put in approved, like 500 for now?
I think a half
We'll
is
come
fair.
back and stick the number in, then we'll revisit it. 500, I think, is fine. I'm just gonna be a devil's advocate here, and I understand everything you're saying, Ryan.
Mhm.
Is the cultural council in the business of funding scholarships?
Right.
Or is the cultural council in the business of funding activities and programs that benefit the wider community?
I would argue we could do both in some capacity. Depends on what it is.
And, well, you got me with the 25 number. If it was literally 3 to 5 scholarships, I think I'd feel differently, but 25 is a small group, that'd be like doing a small
It's like one class.
presentation. Yeah,
It's literally one class. I
Yeah.
teach 20 people at a time.
exactly, which we might fund in some of these other places as small numbers.
Yeah.
And how do the recipients of the scholarships get chosen or awarded them?
They apply. My family actually, we give a grant through the school outside of Tempo, and it is up to the music teachers or whoever is on that board. I think I knew one of the Dad Marianella or whatever her name is. I think she was on it, and she may not be in charge anymore. But they literally have a meeting just like this, and they say, this kid is excelling in this, they're doing this well, they're pushing this thing, they're the lead in the play, they just applied for this thing, the family's, struggling with this and this, we should give them let's say it was $500, we should give them the $100 thing to cover the piano lessons for that thing or whatever.
So
So I think it's an internal conversation.
So the student doesn't have to necessarily participate in their fundraising events?
I don't know outside of how they run their fundraising,
Mm.
but I know that they apply for certain things, and I know that basically a small board like this, from when I was in it, could have changed by then, but we basically had to.
Is our decision at all based on the concern that if, say, we do partial funding, that the entity who we award will not be able to go forward because they didn't get any other funding?
There's
That is
a
some of
place
the
on
things.
on the back of the application that says, if we don't give you the money, what are you gonna do?
Right.
And then, most people have an option for, well, we'll scale back the program, we'll reach out to somebody else, we'll have fewer available, whatever.
For theirs, verbatim, the question is how will you adjust the project if the council cannot fund the entire amount? They said if we are unable to achieve our goal of 8,000, then the total, which is the total, they asked for 1,000 for the record, then the total scholarship fund that we are able to achieve will be divided among the student recipients. So they get a lower awarded amount than in prior years. So to our point, we fund half right now.
Yeah.
And if that's all we can do,
Mm-hmm.
they still have some money, which I feel good about personally, but it's not like they're not gonna give it away. There are other events in here where it's the $350 or the $400, or like I've done classes where it's like, if they can't give the full $500 for me to go to the Linfield Library,
can't do it.
then they
Yeah.
don't hire me. But that's a small amount, it's 20-something people, and they usually do the event.
So the discussion that we had last year was along the lines of what Robin raised. And I'm still inclined to believe that that's the right answer. But the reason I'm open to it is that it's such an important thing. The question is it appropriate for our council? And last year we decided it was outside the bounds of our council. It's basically a fundraising entity. What money we give to them simply can't go into a pool. I mean, it's not gonna be earmarked to 25 people. I think it's just gonna be a big pool. So I was open in the discussion to partial funding, because I do think it's an important thing, and I think it's great that you've been through it and you can really speak to that. But I'd like to see what we would be giving up in terms of other proposals before we decide on the total amount. So while I was inclined to give it 0, I'm open to giving it some.
Sure. That's fair.
Certainly not 1,000.
Well, I think all of them we're gonna go back, so yeah, we talked about putting the 500 in as you did, and then that this would be highlighted as one to definitely look at the number.
Exactly.
Yeah, it may go up or down.
It may
Yeah.
go up or down.
I'm dying to know whether, and I could have found this out now that I think of it, whether Rowley and Salisbury Cultural Councils funded it.
That was-
It says it right
Last year.
underneath, oh, if they did it
No,
last year?
last year.
Oh.
They did last year.
They did? We don't
No,
know.
and we don't know.
No.
But we were pretty clear last year when you sent that letter, I believe you said that this was outside of our.
Scope. Yeah.
It did say they at least applied.
Well, more also, then the other things that we talked about as service offerings, this will continue to grow in the community as a cultural, these kids are gonna go off and do more things that are all related to what we do fund and support, versus I might go see the bullying thing, and while it's good for me to do, that doesn't influence anything else I'm gonna do in the community culturally related. So there's nowhere for them to go except into something else related to what we do, you know, support, so.
If we wanna just put a pin in it for now and keep moving on,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
let's
it's
put a
fair
placeholder.
to keep going
I'm
around.
just, I'm
And they
going
do
to,
have
so
a
I
great
actually
track
know,
record.
I don't know the chair of the Rowley Cultural Council, but I know personally the chair of the Salisbury Cultural Council. So it's really easy for me to find that out.
Sure.
I would ask them how they
I
view
will.
it, it would be probably helpful to know, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me do that, and I can just go into the, now that I can get back, well, no, actually it's public. I'll go back into the NCC website, I'll get the name of the Rowley person, and we can collaborate, because we don't have to make that, well, we kind of do, because we want, well, whatever.
Just,
Let's keep going.
one final note, if we do end up giving $500, it's $20 a kid
Yeah,
towards the scholarship.
yeah.
So it just, it seems like, when you put it like that, to me, like, not a
Cheap
huge deal.
money.
It's like a sandwich for a kid.
Yeah. Not even.
Yeah, it
You
depends
know,
on the
the Temple used to, for years, apply to, for the spring percussion
Yeah.
concert
Yeah.
every year, and we
Starting-
always gave them the full amount.
Yeah.
And so this is just,
The scholarship is different.
its scholarship is really different, and it was kind of jarring when I saw it,
Mhm.
because it was just, that was also a no-brainer. Of
I think
course, right?
outside of anything else, I think asking the other councils just for us to know is not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Just to-
however, we won't know the answer tonight.
Correct.
to
No,
make
no,
our
of course,
decision, so-
of course.
Right.
All right, I suppose I could call her up right now, but I won't. All right, so that's Tempo, and I think we're done with the, yeah, that's all the Newbury-centric proposals. Now we can go, and unless there's further discussion about that, we can go back to the beginning. Now, Greek Food Festival, now this is a new entity.
I thought they did this every year.
They do the festival every
No,
year,
they've never
they're
applied
asking
for a band.
Band.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is
Understood.
their first band
Two
entertainment.
dudes.
Two dudes.
So they always ask the Newbury Cultural Council for money.
No, we've
No.
never, no, this is the first
Okay.
time.
So my first question
They've never
is,
had music
are they,
before.
is this a fundraiser for them?
Okay.
Yes,
So we essentially will be contributing to their fundraiser,
yes.
which to me is not the appropriate use of council money.
I agree.
That's why I already crossed them off the.
Oh, you already did.
You're way ahead.
You're way ahead of us, Heidi. All right.
Is there any disagreement with that? I mean, I just don't think we should be funding fundraisers.
No?
Yeah, I love their food festival, but.
I actually still
agree.
haven't been. I hear about it every year. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
I
they
know.
never showed up. And I love Greek food.
End
Oh,
of
yeah.
July, gonna be around.
Definitely gotta go.
You know,
It
I'll
was
tell
great.
you,
It would-
since
it
we're on
would,
the topic, the Ipswich Greek Festival is
Oh, yeah,
mind-blowing.
it's bigger.
The
Yeah.
public
Is it
benefit
really?
statement
It's
is wonderful.
huge.
They have a lot of
They have
entertainment.
three
there.
guys.
They have entertainment.
Yeah.
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 They have
Lots of
dancing, they
stuff.
have, oh, it's incredible, because all of the food and all of the logistics are done by volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
It's
We
amazing.
should
When's that?
ask them to volunteer.
That is in July.
That's great people.
But anyhow, we'll come back to that since that's off topic.
Should we go to number 2 here?
Yep.
All right.
So we do that historically, and it's the same amount pretty much every year. I love the theme of it.
Yeah, so containments, the reason we fund containments is because people from Newbury may or may not perform with containments, but people from Newbury go to the containments concerts, which are one of which is in Newburyport. By the way, as a side note, we got an email today from containments with complimentary tickets to their Newburyport concert, which is on December 8th, their Beverly concert, which is on the 6th, and their Gloucester concert, which is on the 15th. I wrote her back and said, thank you very much for thinking of us, but according to the state ethics laws, we will have to decline.
Mhm.
However, I will bring it up at our meeting tonight and make sure that everybody knows.
Yeah.
When and where your concerts are.
I remember this from the
You're-
Newport
you're
one,
not-
obviously, and I think for $300 out of 25 grand,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
Oh,
such
yeah,
a
yeah.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
we're talking pennies per
Yeah.
ticket sale, that we're-
Exactly.
Yeah.
but it's a good thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff we need.
I'm not gonna
more of.
hear during their concerts.
No, I'm
missing
gonna miss it
this year.
too.
Well, you can hear really good stuff not far away.
Mm.
It's just-
Mhm.
Okay, so that's a yes. The Newburyport Lantern Festival, we fund that, we've funded it every year since it started.
It
This
looks very
too, though,
cool.
is,
Yeah.
is kind of a
Have
fundraiser in my mind.
Um,
I mean, it's a fundraiser and awareness for cancer, which
Mm.
there's a lot of out there.
Yeah, but it's a big event.
It is
Well,
a big-
I've been to it, it's beautiful, but again, aside from the lanterns that they use, it's a fundraiser for a cancer society.
So if we follow that logic from the Greek Orthodox Church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, they've made it sort of an artistic, they have an artistic flair to it because they are using Japanese lanterns and that's kind of their,
Yeah,
They're-
the Greek food festival, there's
right.
a Greek
And
band.
to me,
That's,
this is a fundraiser for ovarian cancer, which I support, by the way. I have a very dear friend from work who had, so
Of course.
this is not anything personal, but, and like I said, I've been to it and it's beautiful, but it's a cancer program.
I agree.
It does seem like we should follow the same logic for
Yes,
both,
yeah.
in whatever that is.
Okay.
And I don't think the $500 is gonna mean that they don't have it.
Oh, no, they're gonna have it. We only gave them 300 last time. So it's,
That may have to be a more carefully worded letter, but I think it's just I think it follows the same logic as the
Yeah.
other things that
Yeah,
we're
that's a good
saying.
point. Does everybody agree then?
Yeah.
yes.
I can understand it. I think in Newburyport we did it because it was in Newburyport, but
Right.
that doesn't, it doesn't matter now.
Right.
But yeah,
Okay.
I can see the argument for
We
sure.
could,
Yeah, all right.
yeah, argue that.
Everybody agree? You
Yes,
agree? You agree?
absolutely.
Okay.
Well, then you wouldn't want the other people to come back and say, you funded them and you didn't
Right.
fund me.
Right.
You know, put some
Right.
nitpicker on the other side.
Right.
Okay, next up is Newburyport Indigenous Peoples' Day. Now, a note on this one, we have historically funded that event, and the MCC, you asked about children, Ellen, the MCC does want the LCC monies to be spent on programs that advance diversity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No brainer.
Oh,
Support this.
unfortunately, this year, the weather was horrendous.
Oh, I know.
I was cold to say the least, but.
It's a really nice program.
It's an incredible program.
And it's very culturally
It's one of the-
stimulating, I
yes.
guess, for lack of a better
It's
word.
an excellent organization. It's.
There's
all
music,
things.
there's art, there's history, there's all the stuff that's in our mission.
Mhm.
So that's a yes.
That's a yes from me.
So last year we
Just
funded
any-
them
yes.
at 300, I believe, 300. So do you want to
Let's
do
put in
full
500
right
and see how
now?
it shakes out.
Yeah.
I did have a question, and maybe you know that the salaries for the presenters was 10,000, and that just seemed, I mean, are there many of them?
Yes, and they bring them
Yeah.
from all over.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
and
2
they're
days.
actually quite amazing speakers. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, you're talking all that money and then we're getting $500. It's like,
Yeah.
it seems like a small little token.
Okay, so now we are up to the Georgetown Theater Workshop, which is number 9.
I thought we approved that.
I'm sorry, did I skip one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, we already approved that one.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Oh, you're right, sorry. Okay, Newburyport Chamber Music Summer Festival 2025.
We historically do it, it's at 300, they're very conscious of the money, because I all the people that stay at my friends' houses. It's
Yeah.
actually quite a good,
It seems like a beautiful thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
I remember one time,
Yes, for me.
several years ago, we did not fund the Newburyport Chamber Music Festival because there was somebody on the cultural council, our cultural council was adamantly opposed to it.
Why?
Didn't like cultural music?
Don't know
Who
why.
knows? And so it got beaten, and I never could understand it. And then one year, we got a letter from Ann Barrett Spreck, in fact, who was at the time the main contact, or she was the grants applicant for the Newburyport Chamber Society. She literally said, we get funding from every other cultural council. What's up with you guys? It was much more polite than that. And I said, but that person left the council. So now that that person's off the council, since that person left the council, we funded this every year. Not just because Ann begged, but because it really is, again, as Barb just said, there are lots of people from our community who attend the concerts, and they actually have tried to broaden it so that some performers actually are in the localities as opposed to just all being in the report.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Spring concert. Good. Yes.
Choral Society, again, historically, we've always funded them. They've been very good. Group?
It's amazing how much some of these events cost.
I agree, that was one of the interesting things when I see that from the other behind the scenes in your report, for sure. And you're like, my $25 ticket. It better sell out. I totally get it.
I think the film festival fits our mission, certainly.
That is just very well attended.
Yeah,
a
we
lot
have
of
to start looking at
people.
overall money that we're about to run out.
Yeah, well, that's why we're gonna have to go back, but that's what we did last year. Very,
The
Leader
next
chart
one's Theater
for
in the
next
Open, Patricia and the Caterpillar, that's for children, that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah, I say yes to that one.
I do too.
oh yeah, they're quite good.
And then Port Gingerbread Festival, that was the first,
So
last year
I,
was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was a little confused by their application. Are they asking to do this in the next couple of weeks? Because they had
Yes.
2024 for the
Yes.
date.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the way the fiscal years work is a little confusing. I mean, it's technically, we're funding things from this July 24, through June, but it doesn't really work that way, because we sometimes will do things after June. And I looked it up today. I tried to look up the reconciliation of the fiscal years versus the calendar years, and there's no good discussion about it. So, we did it last year, we funded them last year, even though it was done within 2 weeks of our,
So are they ready to go? Have they got a lot of interest in, because I haven't been up here, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last year was the first year that they did the festival, and it ended up, and I remember sitting around
Their
there, and
numbers
people
were
said
very
no.
good.
I said, why are you guys saying no? This is brilliant, and it's the first time they're doing it. So I was like, oh, okay, let's do it. And then it turned out that it was just it was a smash.
They had a lot of information, which was
smash.
nice. They
Yeah.
had all
Yes,
the numbers in
exactly.
there, yeah.
Do they still need the money?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they also have a planning team of 16 people. I mean, how could you go wrong?
Yeah.
I'd love to plan something with
You
16.
love that.
Yeah, no kidding.
So do we want to say 400 for now and see where we end up?
Works for me.
Okay.
what did we do last year? We're already
300 last year.
we're already over our allotment, but
We did 300 last year.
we did 300 last year.
Well, we only have a couple more.
No,
We've got 20 and 22. We have, right? Am I?
Children of the Holocaust.
and 24.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No.
no,
No,
that's right.
No, so we only have two more. So Turin, Children of the Holocaust,
And Justice.
I'm pretty sure we funded that last year.
Did they end up doing
We
that
did.
last year?
Yes.
Pardon me?
They do it?
Yeah.
We gave them 300 last year.
Okay.
I'll put 500, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
Is there an entrance fee to that, or is it free?
Don't remember.
They usually charge.
They say ticket sales.
Why, you ask?
Well, it's just, to me, it just seems like if they have a significant right of way, significant source of funding, that they're gonna charge tickets.
Oh, but a lot of these charge. They charge.
Just for,
Yeah, they can't cover their costs.
Okay.
Right.
And Anna always asks.
Yeah,
Every organization.
right.
Okay,
Isn't
so
she
that-
kind of an institution?
Yes, she certainly is.
Yes.
She actually started theater in the
Yeah.
So I had to scribble down 300 for that one.
Yeah, I'll put it 300.
Okay. And the last one is And Justice for All, which is the PEG Center.
is that the piece of artwork?
It's gonna,
I forget what that one is
I
actually.
think that's the one that is gonna get circulated in different towns or something.
Oh, it was a mural.
Oh,
It
mural,
sounded
yeah.
fun, yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
Especially since it involves the community coming in and painting it.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's,
Oh,
that
that's
one,
right.
that was great, that
That one
sounds great,
sounded
yeah.
good, didn't it?
So we put the whole 400 and go back and chisel?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. I think so.
Then the ones at the back don't get discriminated.
Did she have a,
I changed this.
place where these were going to be, these murals were
I
gonna be
forget, I have to look at the application.
exhibited?
That's true, is it a
I
secure
think they were gonna-
location?
From what they wrote, they were gonna discuss, they were gonna be movable,
So
and you could discuss where they're gonna be put in each town, or whatever.
we have to remove $1,145 from the
So-
money we've allocated.
So just starting from the top, Contamus at 300, that's not really, I don't think a haircut's gonna do much there. Indigenous Peoples' Day, that's pretty reasonable. Georgetown Theater, any of these look like we could cut a little bit, they're relatively small amounts.
You know, we take,
The documentary.
we take 50 or $100 off of some of the ones that
Yeah.
starts to chip down.
Yeah,
Let's start
we
chipping
take
down.
500, okay, so Georgetown Theater,
Yeah.
If we did 400 as well,
okay, do 400.
and then for that one I would do 500.
Right.
And then the next one I do 250, and then probably the same for the next one, and then maybe 400 for the next one, 500
Yep.
for that one,
Yep.
Makes sense.
and then that 400 maybe we do 300 or something. Whatever.
From 22.
Okay, we already did this one, the yellows are where we
Already
already
half,
cut them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
Um,
interesting.
you want
Fine.
to
300
do
there?
300 for that, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Do we want to cut anything out of that one or not?
495?
I feel like we're on prices, right? $1.
What if we did this at 500?
Yeah.
That one's yellow, but we did it for full, just for the record.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, yeah, so
Egg Center?
Should we down?
do 300 there.
Yeah, so we only have to cut out $200.
And I'm inclined to a little bit do that on tempo, but I
You want to do 400?
do 400 here, so we got $100 that we've got to
Can I go
cut.
back to the top and do a read through?
Contamus, 300, that's pretty low already. Indigenous people,
Charge, take 50.
do you want to do it,
What?
500 is a reasonable amount. That actually,
And it
I
affects a
think
lot of
that's
people.
an important
It's a
one.
really
event.
important one,
Yeah,
yeah, I'd
yeah, it's a
rather-
really important one.
Let's scroll down and see if we can take $25 out of some of the other ones.
Georgetown Theater,
375.
We have $500 for the liquid spine one, and it seems like a lot because I don't know, it's involving just a few people that are making this one video. And I don't remember who they also asked for
was the
money from.
videographers where I think most of the funding was. I actually agree with you on that. I like what they're doing, but what did they say they were gonna do if they didn't get the funding?
They were gonna scale back.
Yeah, just have a little
Something.
films or something.
So they're only asking Newbury for money, is that it?
Really?
It just, yeah, it doesn't say the.
Yeah. they
The
weren't
videographer
asking
was the
anybody else.
most, some of the other stuff was the space.
That's right. They're one of the few that didn't have, they got 2,000 in grants.
Yeah, they already got a grant, so they were trying to
And
get
so they're looking
1,500
for
extra.
1,500 more.
And they are not going to any of the other cultural councils.
But they could.
And it says they will reduce and scale back our filming and rehearsal hours to reduce costs. we're already giving
We've
out.
already cut them back a lot, yeah, I
Correct.
don't know
I'm
how
not
much.
inclined to cut them anymore.
I think, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if we can try to take $100 out of, even if we did down to tens and some of the other ones we already cut. Do we wanna go through and just see other ones that we know are getting granting from other things, or that they're,
well, yeah, like, I'm not to pick on them, but I'm wondering about the gingerbread people, they might already be in really good shape.
Well, that's why I asked before, do they
Yeah.
need the money?
Like, could we put them to 200 and call it a day?
will you look back up on that one?
If it's very
Yeah,
soon,
what
they
is it?
should, they're probably in good shape.
Exactly.
Well, of course, the
Or they've
problem
made
is
it work one way or another.
Yes, I mean, it's literally in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
And I expect to see all of you there.
And you have to spend it.
I was hoping to do a gingerbread, it's too exhausting, you think it should try to.
I know.
Having been
You
on the
You can
other
get one
side.
of those molds from King Arthur Flour, right?
No, I wanted to make my own.
I wanna make my own. Maybe you and I can pour it over.
You know, I'm getting over being sick.
Oh, are you? Oh, that's right, you missed our last meeting.
I was like, we wanted to do a tree house. Trees out of gingerbread.
So you just, that was you today. You were
Yeah,
really
it's
sick.
been
So the
awful.
breakdown for them is they,
I brought my laptop to do just what you're doing, and I
That's
never
okay.
turned it on.
so
Sorry.
it's like a $6,000 total thing. They have Mass Cultural Council grants, Bank Foundation grants, local business sponsors, private and individual donors. They said they're not going to any other local cultural councils.
Who is
and
this?
The gingerbread people.
So they might have already, they must have already did report.
It said no.
You didn't have anyone else?
Well, maybe it's because we were the only ones that funded them last year.
We would solicit more business sponsors.
Well, that makes no sense.
I think giving them
wonder
some
why.
is probably fair, but I don't think we're being unfair, and I think we hit our number. and
Yeah.
it's-
We hit 200, so this is it. These are the ones that we agreed to.
Are we holding any, we're not holding any money back at all for our own purposes, surveys or
There's
anything
another
else like that?
$100.
There is. Okay, just wanna make sure that, well, you're in charge of the annual report, so I'm not going to worry about it.
I think that's pretty fair. I know some got all, and actually not many got all because
Right.
we cut, so
The
what is
way
it,
the
only
cookie
two,
crumbles.
four, which ones actually got all of the money? So
Such
I
hard
here,
ass.
the Cantamus did, the indigenous people did, the library, no, they didn't.
I mean, we went from 16,285 to 5,600.
So those are the only two people that got the full amount that we pay out.
And it seems like a good variety that we're funding, right?
Yeah, it covers lots of audiences.
Mhm.
Which are the two that we, the ones in green are the ones we funded in full?
You changed them.
I've changed the colors, but the two are Cantamus and indigenous people.
Oh, and so we didn't fund in full the passes, the library request?
No,
Oh, no, no.
Really?
by
Not last year either.
by $100.
Oh,
Is that gonna be a problem because then they
Yeah.
won't be able to get them?
well, it means fewer people get the passes. I kinda hate to.
Do we know that they use them all?
Yeah?
Yeah.
And they.
Yeah, I kinda hate to cut that one.
Can we find,
Perhaps get the Friends of the Library to purchase.
Last year.
Can we go down
It's only,
ten?
it's only $100.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can get, they can
Last
get
year
that.
they asked for.
if not, I was
600.
gonna say, what if we cut out a little more
Yeah,
from
450.
the film festival and the Newburyport Choral Society, take $50 from each and put it.
You know, it would break my heart to cut a little from the Choral Society, because they have a lot, we fund them every
If
single
we
year.
take 50 and 50 from those two Newburyport ones, we're still giving more than half of what they asked for, and that fills the Newbury one.
Mhm.
Okay, and what was the other one, documentary?
Yeah.
Also? Okay, so it's 350. And fully fund this at 600. Okay,
Oh, there you go.
I like that.
You like that, Heidi?
If we're focusing on Newbury first, I think it puts Newburyport in a 2/3 plus majority of whatever they asked for those couple things.
Makes sense.
so I don't have access to the internet, so I can't send it to all of you right now, but I will send this as soon as I get home.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing
You
Yeah, that's
better, the
great.
minute
Thank
you
you.
walk in.
So,
Thank you, Bart.
and it makes it so much easier when you can do it like that.
So we're past time,
No, we're not.
7:30?
Yep.
7:30, sorry.
that.
Um,
Wow.
Do we have other business we need to do and or just set the next meeting?
I think say the next meeting, and if we wanna spend 5 minutes and quickly do the thing we were gonna do a Zoom call for, I feel like maybe now, since we're so early, is not a horrible idea, because it saves us a whole nother meeting, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Good idea.
Okay,
Keep things
but I think we can adjourn this meeting, however.
Do we need to set a date for our next meeting or not,
I think we, oh, yeah.
before we adjourn? Technically, or,
Not necessarily.
okay.
All right, so the meeting is adjourned. How do you do this? I
Make a motion to.
make a motion. I make a motion that
second
the
it.
meeting is adjourned.
All in favor?
Meeting is adjourned,
Aye.
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 7:11.